Steelers host the Titans tonight, but there may be trouble brewing between Big Ben and offensive coordinator Todd Haley. On Sunday, Haley appeared to be screaming at Ben on the sidelines during Pittsburgh's win over Indy. This week, Haley claimed he was screaming at someone else, but Big Ben told a different story.
It was crazy. That's nothing new, him screaming at me during games. You guys don't ever see it. I did look over to the sideline, and he was definitely screaming. I know they're making a big deal about it. At the time, it's just, you know what, you move on. You can't really get caught up in that stuff.
Ben is also on the record that he'd like to shift to a no-huddle offense, saying, quote, it's actually easier because that's something that's been in since day one. So rather than install a bunch of new plays, you go with what you know and have been doing for a long time. All right, Cowherd, should the Steelers cater to Big Ben, or should Todd Haley continue to drive this offense?
Might as well cater to him because this is it. He's done. You're married. You've gone to a party before with your wife over the last 20 years. You see a couple fighting. You drive home with your wife, and you're like, oh, they're not going to make it.
Sure. And they're still together 20 years later. Still unhappy.
Very happy. I mean, when stuff goes public, it's bad. You can hide 90% of your stuff. We got Big Ben taking shots on their practice, on Mike Tomlin. Haley would not do that if Tomlin also wasn't on board. I mean, you just don't have OC undressing players.
I know Todd Haley. He does not ask permission. He asks for forgiveness. He does not ask for
But this whole thing it's a relationship that's frayed. Big Ben has been public. You might as well write him because, by the way, in between Bradshaw and Big Ben, you went 20 years with solid but B and C quarterbacks. You just squeeze everything out of the towel you can get. You got him for 7 more games. Actually, this is as bad as New England's defense will ever be. Ride him as long as you can.
I say ride him and let him go his way because it's not working the way that it's going right now. The guy's got 12 TDs and 10 interceptions.
Right.
He's not aging very well. I'll defend Todd Haley to this extent, and I knew him well when he was in Kansas City and the head coach. As an offensive coordinator, he can be successful. Arizona, on their Super Bowl team. He was the offensive coordinator on that team, and that's what got him the Kansas City job. He's had some success with Big Ben, but eventually Todd Haley's going to wear on you, and you're going to do what Big Ben's doing.
Yeah, for me, I think you don't really cater to Big Ben. You have to tailor definitely to Big Ben and what his style is and what he wants. My issue with that, though, is when you hear a quarterback say, well, no huddle is better for me. We operate better than no huddle. Yes, I'm all for that. I think as a wide receiver and on the offense side of the ball, no huddle puts a lot of pressure on the defense, but it makes you more of a pass-heavy team. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that is not their key ingredients of success. Their ingredient is what you do best. Run that ball with Le'Veon Bell. And if you're in no huddle, as a quarterback, you want to throw the ball.
By the way, this is also a little Favre. Listen, we know Brady works really hard. We also know Favre. I love Favre, but Favre was a lot of ad-lib, less precise as Brady. Big Ben's closer to Favre. You know what that sounds like to me? I don't want to learn a bunch of new plays. I don't want you to install it. I'm at the end. Again, it feels like Big Ben's like, remember when Favre, his last year in Green Bay, said, you start putting in a new playbook, I'm out of here. He was done with it.
But you know what? He's not watching the fight. He's in the fight. So as a player on the field, in a sense, you have an idea what would work. I mean, even from a no-huddle, you can still run the football. I mean, you're still able to run the football. So, in a sense, you don't have to cater to him, but you have to kind of see if it works. I mean, because right now, their offense is sputtering. I mean, we know when they run the football, they seem to win football games, most definitely. But, you know, you got to have your quarterback incorporated. You can't become one-dimensional. I've been on a one-dimensional football team. After a while, you know, if you don't have that quarterback, it's going to get shut down. So, I still believe that you have to somewhat cater to him. If this was Tom Brady saying this, what would they say? Hey, do what Tom says. If this is Aaron Rodgers saying this, let's go to the no huddle.
This goes back to something, though. This organization just isn't quite buttoned up. Here we are, maybe in Big Ben's last year.
7-2.
Well, again, the AFC right now is a mess.
No, I know.
But I mean, here we are, at the end of Big Ben's career, and he's like, I'd rather do this. You got coaches yelling at people. I mean, something never feels right with them.
Eric, you make a good point. When you're in the fight and you know what works best, not just for you, but for your team, there's a lot less thinking, and it sounds crazy, but when you got the plays being called by your quarterback and he's signaling and telling you where to go, you don't have time to really think. You got to react.
Right.
And guys, they look at 2 minute. Look at 2 minute offense.
The energy to it.
It's an energy to it, and you as a fan and as a spectator, you're like, where was this at all game?
They say it all the time. Why didn't run that?
Yeah, exactly.
To Green Bay with a Packers.